Good evening, it's a minute past 9 o'clock and you're right in time for Business Today. Before we kick it off, here's a quick look at our top stories. In Business Today, Tourism Ministry and key stakeholders unveil Tech Up to enhance revenue generation and conservation. Legislators are dismayed with the global security empty fitting centers as police security systems get duplicated. More in Business Today, government undertakes nationwide sensitization to streamline the agriculture sector. You're welcome once again to Business Today. I'm Rona Nahabwe, together with Winnie Buyinza and Nakauchi for the sign language. Now, beginning with how digital number plates were investigated today, members of Parliament on the Infrastructure Committee have expressed their disappointment with the Russian company, Global Security, which was contracted to carry out digital surveillance car number plates. The committee, which carried out its field visit today to the fitting centers today, were shocked to find only empty tents where some Ugandans cannot even speak to the technology. Our reporter was on ground with the committee and we have details.
Government is scheduled to roll out the controversial digital surveillance car and motorcycle number plates early November this year, together with joint stock company Global Security, which is a Russian company. The process, which was supposed to start March this year, government has been pushing it forward due to public outcry. The Committee on Infrastructure today said from Parliament to check out the fitting centers located in different car bonds in Kampala, but on reaching there, they were welcomed by empty tents, a clear indication that the said company is not ready for the task.
To have fitting equipment. We have not come here to see sheds. Where are the fitting equipment which have come to see? Because this project should have begun way back according to the implementation of it.
Honorable colleagues, even if we all talked, it will come back to the same thing. Let's move to the next point.
I thought so, Chair, before you leave.
In an effort to explain to the committee why the tents are empty, the Commissioner, Ministry of Works and Transport, Winston Katrishabe, informed the legislators that the fitting centers are just temporary as they put in place permanent structures with time, but the MPs did not get convinced.
This is a shed, yes, as you put it, but I have explained why it is a temporary fitment center. When Marava and Mutukura, for example, were proposed as one of the stop centers, especially for first-time registration. Our argument was that we would not use this because they had put this because of the timelines. But we gave instruction that they should now put permanent structures because Marava and Mutukura, once you have a vehicle clearing its taxes in Mombasa or Dar es Salaam, first registration at Marava and Mutukura. So there, the structures will be permanent.
Now after here, we shall go and see the mobile ones. Where are the mobile ones?
Please don't force words into my mouth.
No, but that's what we say.
No. I say we are going to see what you call temporary fitment centers, which are sheds, and I was very clear with that.
At Cosmos Bond in Chambogo, the committee found an empty tent with 2 chairs together with 2 Ugandan workers who had no knowledge of the technology being used in the digital surveillance plates.
I've looked at a demo.
Have you ever looked at the number plate that you are going to sell? Let me just address myself. Local content. I want local content here. Have you ever looked at the number plate you are going to fit?
I will call it
just say yes or no.
Now let me explain. What have you looked at?
You have ever looked at the number plate? Yes. How is it?
Can we answer on that technical?
No.
Sorry, we have.
Mr. Chair.
Excuse me, no.
This one came,
but you should not also interrupt.
No, let me help my friend.
Let his friend
help my friend.
No.
They are two.
We are two.
Yes,
Let his friends.
They are two. Let me help my friend.
Never seen the number plate.
Let's listen.
And we have been having samples. The one we have been training, this is having a chip on it.
Mm-hmm. According to legislators, it is very disappointing that a company could be given a contract without establishing any office in the country and can only show empty tents to members of Parliament.
The center must be of high tech with all the equipment that is going to be used to fit those installations. But we did not find, not even a computer. Neither did we find a screwdriver. There is absolutely nothing. It's an empty tent. An empty tent that we cannot accept as member of parliament to based on that to give these people a contract. There was absolutely nothing, and therefore we cannot take on that. We can't.
So we wanted to see the temporary equipment in the temporary area, other than erecting a small tent, and after putting it there, you show people. Now, like this curtain, you see us eating in. Now, after eating here, they are going to remove it. So this was stage managed in the morning. They put a tent after stage managing, and we left. And I'm sure now, if we go back, surprisingly, the tents are not there because they have been removed.
We visited what is there. We have come to police. They were taking us through how the system is supposed to work. And we shall come up with a report on what we have seen. What we saw is what we saw. And what is there is what is there. I really, as the chair of this committee, I don't want to sound judgmental when there is a report coming.
The committee proceeded to Naguru Police Headquarters to check out the surveillance cameras for global security, but they were surprised that the same technology police uses is the same the Russians intend to use, which will be duplicating Ugandan police work.
I don't want to say chase, but someone is following you, and a person just reported, police, I have a suspect. The car is following me for like 10 minutes. My number plate number is UAZ 964R. The police can respond, he can take a look and confirm that yes, this is something wrong. The vehicle is following you, like from different intersection, and it's just following. And we also can raise an alert on this system.
Here in the whole system, we have only been viewing police cameras. Everything is the police. So we are wondering, why are we not using our police cameras and police system to just improve and run the system? Now we bring in the people, these briefcase people from wherever we don't know. So we have a challenge with it, and we want to go back and make our own statements. We want to go back in Parliament and really put our foot down and make sure these guys, because to be very sincere, this is not in the interest of Ugandans. These have not come to do work for Ugandans. There must be one particular individual who is pushing this deal.
When we come to investigate what is in police, in fact, we shall be doing duplication. If we went along to contract a Russian company to do a system that is already in place in police, in Uganda police, we have the infrastructure, we have the systems in place. Therefore, there is no need for us to again contract a foreign company that is even going to hack into our systems.
The committee is expected to present its report on digital number plates very soon before the House for debate. Samla Nifa, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Thank you, Samla Anifa, for that report. We now look at innovating for wildlife. Uganda Wildlife Authority has launched a pioneering initiative to protect Uganda's mountain gorilla population by leveraging technology to create sustainable sources of non-trekking revenues to fund conservation activities in gorilla parks. This remarkable endeavor aims to revolutionizing gorilla tourism as virtual interaction platform offers a novel revenue stream. Bronya Katsime reports.
In the fiscal year 2018-2019, a staggering 120 billion shillings was collected from tourism, with a lion's share of 70% attributed to gorilla tourism. The COVID-19 pandemic cast a shadow, causing revenues to dwindle to around 23 billion shillings in fiscal year 2019-2020. Nevertheless, most recent figures indicate over 100 billion shillings has been collected for financial year 2022-2023, a testament to resilience and a clear call to further bolster gorilla tourism.
The figures fell so badly that we collected only about 23 billion Uganda shillings during the period of COVID. Now we have gone back to over 100 billion Uganda shillings the last financial year. We are still adding up the values, but we might be in the range of 120 billion again. Now, we do not have enough money even with the 120 billion. So we must find other ways in which to raise money, and this application and selling the gorillas in a different way is one of the ways we are looking at. But we are looking at several different ways in which we can raise additional income.
We are looking as an institution to raise funding because it's expensive to build such applications. It's expensive to put cameras in the forest that are running on a daily basis. It's expensive to be able to get, move this content from Windy to Kampala, create the videos, upload them onto the application. It's a very expensive process.
With the advent of cutting-edge information technology, this immersive experience is breaking geographical barriers, offering a unique opportunity for wildlife enthusiasts and curious minds to connect with these magnificent creatures in their natural habitat. This not only diversifies income sources, but also ensures a steady flow of funds to support gorilla conservation efforts, enhancing revenue generation and incorporating robust marketing strategies.
The more you market, the more money comes in. So it's a benefit for all of us, but also the people that have come up with the innovation in the private sector will also carry some money in their pockets. So I want to encourage so many Ugandans. The purpose of creating awareness about the beauty of Uganda and what it has to offer is for all of us. And this is the message we keep saying.
It's basically keeping up with the trends of marketing globally. The world has gone digital. We can't remain behind. So it's really about using technology to reach out to the world to present the various tourism products that Uganda has. And this should be able to get the world to know more about what Uganda has to offer, not only about the gorillas, but we also hope that after knowing where the mountain gorillas are and all the conservation efforts in Uganda, that it will be able to bring so many other people to come and travel to Uganda and explore Uganda.
Additionally, funds generated from virtual interactions will be directed towards critical conservation initiatives and also reduce damage and enhance conservation.
We need to look at technology a little differently. Because sometimes we have looked at technology as putting up high-rise buildings, development, looking at it this way. How about us looking at development in terms of conserving nature? And I appreciate this application and this initiative, which is now bringing technology into conservation.
What is informing us now is, can we find other means in which to raise revenue that can then be utilized into putting into conservation, into the research, into ensuring that the mountain gorillas, the elephants, the rhinos, and even the small duikers in our protected areas can continue to exist. And for us as Ugandans, we are happy that they are still there. So that's why we've done this.
Bridging gap between enthusiasts and gorilla families will not only improve revenue generation, but also strengthen commitment to protecting these majestic creatures for generations to come. Bronya Katsime, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Thank you, Bronya Katsime, for that report. We now shift our focus to revamping agriculture. The government is set to embark on a nationwide campaign to revamp agriculture to unlock the industry's potential, beginning in Mubende district going forward. According to Prime Minister Robina Nabanja, the president wrote to her office proposing 6 policy, better productivity and value addition, among others.
80% of the Uganda's land is arable, but only 35% is being cultivated. In financial year 2021-2022, agriculture accounted for about 24% of the GDP and 33% of export earnings. The Uganda Bureau of Statistics estimates that about 70% of the Uganda's working population is employed in agriculture. It's therefore against this background that the government is set to embark on a nationwide campaign to revamp agriculture sector to a greater heights. The president reportedly wrote a letter to the office of the Prime Minister Robina Nabanja outlining 6 policy directives that, among others, called for increased productivity and value addition.
This week, we are launching a nationwide farmers mobilization campaign to rejuvenate agricultural production, productivity, And
as the Right Honourable Prime Minister has put it, we are targeting a number of people that are involved in agricultural production along the entire chain, starting from the farmers, going to the input dealers, going to the aggregators, or call them the off-takers.
Uganda's agricultural sector presents multiple highly profitable investment opportunities, both for profit-oriented investments and partnerships. As one of the 55 member states of the African Union, Uganda has steadily picked the pace in agricultural development and was highlighted as one of the 20 leading countries in delivery on development targets of the Comprehensive African Agricultural Development Programme. Therefore, a long-term strategy for value addition is called for, and it's part of what will be tackled in the nationwide campaign, and that's according to the State Minister for Agriculture, Fred Wino Chakulaga.
Whatever is not consumed fresh, should be processed into the final product rather than selling it as a raw material.
We are there. We are going there to tell our farmers, and so that they can do better. That's why this campaign is very relevant.
Transforming a country's agricultural sector can create jobs, raise income, reduce malnutrition, and kickstart the economy as a path to the middle income status. In fact, almost every industrialized nation began its economic move with an agricultural transformation. Bedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
We now look at addressing climate change. A group of young individuals has adopted a more assertive position in addressing climate change, highlighting its increasingly adverse effects on the country's economy and various sectors. These effects are evident through the shifts in weather patterns, declining water levels, and rise in instances of flooding. Additionally, these phenomena are recognized for their detrimental impact on farming communities due to the occurrence of droughts.
As Uganda continues to face off with the scourge of climate change, climate experts warn of its growing impact, which manifests through weather patterns, drop in water levels, and increased frequency of weather events like floods, as well as droughts whose socio-economic impacts make communities vulnerable, especially to the agriculture and business sectors.
Of global warming, look at the seasons to ask the farmers. The seasons have greatly changed because of man's activities to the environment. So as young people who are educated, who are elite, we need to go viral in regards to speaking about climate change mitigation and adaptation programs in Uganda.
Government over the years has taken measures to mitigate the scourge of environmental degradation through implementation of regulatory frameworks, cautioning against wetland encroachment and deforestation. For instance, earlier this month, police reported the arrest of 4 suspects who were caught ferrying illegal timber in one of the country's remaining natural forests.
They were arrested while loading timber in Mabira Forest in a UPDF truck registration number H4DF 334. The truck was impounded and also parked at Lugazi CPS. You are aware this was an executive directive from His Excellency the President for the police and other agencies to counter the illegal possession and dealing in forestry products. So these operations are still continuing. This was purposely aimed to protect our biodiversity.
With charcoal and firewood consumption growing faster, Akelo Cecilia, an independent consultant, thinks green energy alternatives need to be fronted while sensitizing the public, especially those dealing in the timber business.
Most of the people that use charcoal actually are the middle class. The people in the villages, they use firewood. So for us to have the government on board to successfully implement the ban, will look at the government to go to the grounds to analyze the root causes. Why is it that these people are using charcoal? And recommend solutions. Some of the solutions could be, like, government came up with a policy of rural electrification. If they go on with that policy, they can work with stakeholders to bring down the cost of electricity and encourage people to cook with electricity. And right now, I understand there's a government program for subsidizing the prices of gas so that people can cook with gas. But you find that the middle class are the ones who can cook with gas. So there's need for sensitization and also to encourage reforestation, because we've also had situations of people cutting down trees for furniture, and we won't ban them from doing that, but we should provide solutions. If you planted trees this season and you're planning to cut them in 10 years, make sure that there are some trees that are growing. And also, as you cut the trees, let it not be in a large surface. It can be like kind of pruning, whereby you leave some stems on the ground, so you find that we are not completely destroying the trees.
Uganda has mostly a tropical climate characterized by stable rainfall patterns. However, the effects of climate change have turned the seasons around, with the country experiencing shorter or longer rains becoming a major threat to Uganda's sustainable development and efforts to end poverty. Stuart Jacon, Smart 24 Television, Business Today.
Business Today will now take a short break. We still have more lined up for you. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda, yeah, the taste of Uganda.
And in talking news, MTN has improved on their data voice bundles. You can now call across all networks for the same price. We've talked to several eyewitnesses on the ground, and this is what one of them had to say. Amos, did you hear about the MTN daily voice bundles? So, to join many more other Ugandans enjoying these MTN daily voice bundles, dial *100 *21# or use the My MTN app to start enjoying. Hey, stay tuned for more offers from MTN.
Luxury redefined at Seasand Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living fit for the royalty that you are. Step into comfort, pampering and blissful customer-centric service as you select from our range of comfy, exquisite living quarters furnished to meet with your royal preference. Surrounded by scenic beauty, our tropical setting allows you to escape the glamorous ordeal of city life. Our ambient green gardens will guide you to a place of revitalizing rest. The 3-star restaurant caters to your palate, serving your choice menu ranging from exotic cuisines to local delicacies. Our chefs will serve you full course meals for a truly out-of-this-world culinary experience. Our fully stocked bar to whet your throat, from renowned global brand whisks, brandies, gins, beers and wines to our locally celebrated beverages, you will not lack for any brewage. It's an all-new experience in the East at CSUN Hotel. So visit today at Plot 15 to 19 Spire Road, Ginger, or contact us on +256 751 719 960 and +256 785 354 614 for reservations. CSUN Hotels, luxury redefined.
Smart 24, driving business.
You're still watching Business Today, and many thanks for sticking with us. We now look at a rather interesting one, the status of non-performing loans. Uganda's economy demonstrates resilience, with non-performing loans steady at 5.2%, fostering stability and growth. Hannington Waswa of Bank of Uganda confirms the positive trend, emphasizing a sustained 5% rate, indicating banking sector stability as financial literacy and debt recovery agencies are championed. While questions arise about the central bank's startup support, the outlook remains promising as Uganda's financial system propels growth and stability. Take a look. The Bank of Uganda's quarterly financial sector review reveals a promising economic landscape as non-performing loans to total loans remain stable at 5.2% as of September 2022, a slight dip from 5.3% in June that very year. This indicator, a crucial gauge of credit risk, signals a resilient financial system and a majority of borrowers meeting repayment commitments. Hannington Waswa, Director of Commercial Banking at Bank of Uganda, reaffirms this positive trend during the recent monetary policy statement address. Underlining the sustained 5% non-performing loans rate, this achievement speaks volumes for Uganda's banking sector stability and overall economic health.
I don't have the figures right now, but the aggregate has been around 5%. Since the beginning of the year, and I haven't looked at the numbers for June, but I haven't seen anything that would suggest that number would change significantly from 5%.
While professional debt recovery agencies are highlighted as effective tools for reducing NPLs and enhancing financial performance, Allen Ayebare from Centenary Bank emphasizes financial literacy has been a game changer. Informed borrowing choices have led to their success, indicating a need for conscious lending practices.
We really believe in the financial literacy agenda as part of our corporate social responsibility. You know, being a financial institution, it is part of our mandate to see that we educate the people we work with. So there are some products that people may get without understanding them fully. Some people may take loans without knowing how to manage them. Some may take them out of excitement and mismanage them, and so have issues in the repayment. Others may open up accounts that are not exactly aligned to their needs, to their type of businesses, to their type of community activities they are doing. So we take it as our mandate to have financial literacy, so that when you come to borrow, you come to open an account, you come to partner in any way, you make an informed decision about what you're going to do. And we don't stop there, by the way. We continue on this journey with you because, you know, we keep changing, we keep growing.
Q1 release of financial year 2023-2024 from Ministry of Finance spotlights manufacturing as a driving force in the private sector credit, suggesting a surge in Ugandans borrowing to fuel startup ventures. The pivotal question remains, is the current central bank rate conducive to the survival of these emerging enterprises?
Adam comes in, let me try to respond to that. I think the CBR rate where it stands now, I think we are comfortable that it should be able to keep the economic growth rate overall close to the 6%, while also ensuring that inflation remains at 5%. That is what our scenarios have generated. So for now, that's what we have. Of course, we live in a dynamic world. Something can change tomorrow. But again, we will consider all that information should there be a change and then revisit our stance today. Because the stance that we used for determining monetary policy decisions in June 23, right, has changed as we now come to August 2023. So we will keep reassessing those stances. But as of now, the information we have suggests that we should be able to maintain growth around 6% and keep inflation within the 5% target.
In summary, Uganda's economy shows resilience with a stable 5.2% of NPL ratio, supported by proactive financial literacy and a surge in manufacturing-driven credit. The road ahead holds promise as the nation's financial system continues to foster growth and stability. Further PDM cash scandals emerge. Honorable Roland Ndiamujenyi Bish, Ruchiga County legislator, has expressed profound discontent over the sluggish and insufficient disbursement of funds within the parish development model. His frustration resonates as a compelling call to address the pressing matter demanding immediate attention. The legislator's bold assertion of corruption amplifies the urgency of reform in the fund allocation. Take a look. During the fundraising event for the Buchundi Rath Catholic Church aimed at completing the church and a parish house, Ruchiga County legislator Ndiamujenyi was visibly frustrated concerning reports emerged about the troubled PDM Circle accounts in the district, suggesting significant fund misuse. Allegations of misappropriation by the parish leaders, added to the distressing revelation, acknowledges the need for rigorous oversight and plans to introduce a robust mechanism in Parliament to address PDM's challenges, aiming for its goals to uplift communities through accountability and fund management.
I found out from different sources, from whistleblowers, is that the money, PDM money, is not being used as it is supposed to be used. There are personal interests from parish chiefs, from circle chairpersons, and other people who have responsibility over that money. So there are tendencies of corruption. People are not accessing the money as they are supposed to access it because they have been denied that access due to corruption. Some people are asked to pay money before they access that money, and so the money is still stuck on the circle accounts. Why? Because the people are responsible are trying to swindle. They are trying to get bribes from potential beneficiaries so that before they are given that money, they pay some money, ranging between 50,000 and 100,000. So as a parliament, we are going to sit and design a monitoring tool to ensure that every person who is supposed to benefit from PDM money gets that money without any stumbling blocks.
The parish chief has no responsibility on the PDM cash. It's only the chairperson and his committee responsible. Nonetheless, Honorable, you do not need to go back to Parliament. We shall resolve this.
Adrian Katalikawe led the fundraising mass, urging renewal and righteousness among attendees, guiding them towards rediscovering their spiritual paths and godly virtues. Buchundira Catholic Center prepares to receive a parish, and a total of 104 million shillings is needed to complete the construction and parish priests' houses as required for a parish status. Norbert Ndiamhachi, Rana Nahabwe for Smart 24 TV. In the same regard, the State Minister of Finance in charge of general duties, Honorable Henry Musasizi, together with a team of Rubanda district officials, have carried out inspection on sites of government constructed projects that include schools and the district council hall, where the minister also lashed out at World Bank for the recent move to cut back funding to Uganda due to its stance on LGBTQ.
Government, in a move to improve infrastructure development in Rwanda, has constructed new facilities for the district offices and a number of schools. The projects were inspected by the State Minister of Finance in charge of general duties, who was escorted by a team of district officials, where he lambasted the World Bank over its cutback on funding over Uganda's LGBTQ stance.
Hati mwahulire abazungu bakenda ngu
They wanted us not to engage in LGBT, but we are not willing. Therefore, Parliament passed the anti-gay law, which prompted the World Bank to cut funding for our country. However, the projects that we had started with them will still go on.
Among the projects that government has prioritized is the construction of the St. George Chibuzije Secondary, a seed school whose cost has been valued at 2.4 billion Ugandan shillings and hope to be finished by the course of next year.
The contract sum is 2.4 billion and the duration of the contract is 18 months. And the scope of works is construction of ICT block, science block, 2 blocks, each one 2 classroom block, 2 staff houses, each one will be having a kitchen, will be having a staff house, twin and tree lined. We have a storage tank for water harvest. The contract was signed on 5th June 2023 and as you saw, the facilities, they are now at very good progress.
Stephen Kasiaba, the chairperson of Rwanda District, underscored the vital importance of collaboration among various stakeholders to uplift education and foster development within the district. Kasiaba's call for cooperation encompasses learners, parents, leaders, and the broader community, highlighting the need for unified effort to bring about positive changes in the education and overall progress in the district.
For any home to develop and have peace, there has to be cooperation. And what makes this district develop is the fact that people work together. Ladies and gentlemen, I implore you to cooperate and take your children to school because the school was built for the community.
The district has been grappling with inadequate education facilities, and authorities had resolved early last year to lay emphasis on improving the education standard. Stuart Jakon, Norbert Ndiamhachi, Smart 24 Television.
On a different note, Rhino Camp residents are demanding for an irrigation system. Farmers in Rhino Camp settlement in West Nile region have petitioned the government to set up irrigation systems for them to maintain their crops because of drought. The camp settlers have been depending on the food assistance from World Food Program, which was cut in the 3rd phase of the prioritization policy due to a funding shortfall.
The United Nations World Food Program in 2023 implemented a progressive shift to needs-based targeting of general food assistance for refugees in Uganda, following an endorsement of the approach at the Comprehensive Refugee Response Framework Steering Group meeting held on 13th December 2022. This approach marked phase 3 of a prioritization exercise that started in 2021 in response to funding shortfalls for general food assistance for refugees. Therefore, many refugees have found farming an alternative to fending for their own food in their families. Speaking to a section of settlers revealed that they hire pieces of land from host communities to produce food for both consumption and sale, which has been affected by the prolonged dry spell in West Nile.
We have crops. We have crops for sale and then we have crops for food. Like if suppose the season will be okay, it really helps. Because when we are getting only that ratio, you cannot sell and buy meat. You cannot sell and buy rice for children. Because the food is very small.
There is no way what to do. We try to dig, and you have seen the weather also, the weather condition.
In the middle of this, a refugee like Isaac Noah chooses to use the 14,000 shillings a month from the World Food Program to rent a plot of land from the host community to grow.
Now, too much challenge is just how usage of land. Individual person is getting 14,000 per month. So sometimes they will say that they can hire a land of, they can talk to the host community and hire that this 10,000 I will take to the host community to let him fill me with some piece of land so that they can able to have something for the next plan.
As the representative of Ariwa village in the Rhino Camp settlement on the Refugee Welfare Council, Hakim Kwenyo is currently looking for collaborators to help build irrigation systems in the community.
It is really a bad story this year because people could supplement the little food by engaging into farming, and then they produce much more food. You find that maize that are about to flower, they have virtually dried. You could even set fire and then they burn off. Sorghum like. Maybe NGOs are also trying their best, but the truth is that farming has become a challenge. Maybe we needed to do something to address the weather condition in terms of water. If there's some way where the partners involved in livelihood could promote innovations or techniques that could reserve water.
According to Dixon Odur, the Media and Communications Coordinator at the Norwegian Refugee Council, the livelihood challenges that refugees go through require urgent donor intervention.
The situation that we are seeing here in a Rhino refugee settlement in West Nile is not unique only to Rhino refugee settlement, but it's similar all over Uganda as a result of the recent food prioritization. Many communities and individuals are taking up negative coping mechanisms as a way to mitigate the situation that they're finding themselves in. Cases you're hearing of theft, it's really very saddening, but programs that promote self-sustenance, programs in areas such as livelihoods, in areas such as protection, are very core in seeing to it that refugees get to depend on themselves. We have learned when refugees get to have access to farmland and get to have access to better farming methods, they can really utilize some of the land that they're given and be able to produce something that cannot only take care of themselves, but they can also sell and get a bit of income. So it's really a call to the donor community to prioritize equitable and sustained funding in this sector.
The commandant of the Rhino Camp settlement, Hermitage Basikania, reports that numerous and much larger groups have enrolled there and that they are dealing with the same problems as the settlement due to the dry spell.
For example, we have like so many groups registered in sub-counties as local farmers associations. Others have formed the rice farming associations. We have like 7, almost, actually they are around 10 now. That's how we can support them. The only challenge they have been telling us is the issue of water for production, where we are advocating to different partners to at least open up some small mini valley dams in different locations.
Now, conclusively, South Africa's pressing job crisis has come to our attention. South Africa is facing a severe unemployment rate of 33%, the highest on the record. The situation is becoming increasingly critical. Experts argue that this record of unemployment is not only a social issue, but also a time bomb with a far-reaching implication for the country's economy and stability, since the lack of job opportunities has created or has laid a ground for frustration, social unrest, and even crime.
One of the most concerning outcomes of this unemployment crisis is the growing inequality gap, where the majority of unemployed population consists of young people, with nearly 63% of those aged between 15 and 24 being jobless, where many families are struggling to make ends meet. Lobohang Puthi is working as a student assistant at a public school 4 years after graduating with a diploma in analytical chemistry. It is the only job she has found due to lack of employment for her profession.
Those kind of emails, we regret to inform you that your application were unsuccessful. You try to change your CV, you use this one, the design, you change it, you use this one, you change your duties and all that. Yes, I applied for several of them, and then last year, that is when I applied for the teacher assistant post. Yeah. I saw it on youth.mobi and I was like, you know what, let me just give it a try.
One of the government's policies to combat unemployment is helping young entrepreneurs start businesses, but this initiative has not helped much. According to Paul Pillay, the youth of the Labour think tank that focuses on improving opportunities for young people, said new businesses aren't surviving or even getting off the ground because there is this boom of new young people entering the labour market. Now, unfortunately, because they do not have an economy that grows, there is no way to absorb all these young people.
It is an experience called a youth bulge, where your young population all kind of matures to a labor, to the working age at the same time, and so you have this boom of new young people entering the labor market. Now, unfortunately, because we don't have an economy that grows, there's no way to absorb all of those young people. We then say, okay, well, part of the solution must be entrepreneurship. But we also then live within an economic environment that doesn't adequately support entrepreneurship. South Africa is one of the most difficult places to do business.
Experts emphasize the need for urgent action from the government and the private sector. They call for implementation of comprehensive job creation strategies, including investment in infrastructure development, skilling training programs, and support for small and medium-sized enterprises.
Wow, that report will lead us to the end of business today, but before I officially sign out, here's a quick look at our top stories. In business today, Tourism Ministry and key stakeholders unveil take-up to enhance revenue generation and conservation. Legislators are dismayed with the global security empty-fitting centers as police security systems get duplicated. More in business today, government undertakes nationwide sensitization to streamline the agriculture sector. Well, there you have it. That's pretty much it what we had for you tonight on Business Today. In case you missed any of these reports, you could watch on our YouTube channel at Smart24 TV Live and follow on social media platforms for any of these stories that may be upcoming. I'm Rihanna Habwe, together with Winnie Buyinza Nakauchi for the sign language interpretation. You have a good evening.